You know, there's this very specific kind of creeping anxiety that sets in when you're looking at a map of a place you've never lived before.
Oh, yeah.
You're just staring at these squiggly lines, townships, school districts, and you realize that, like, a quarter-mile difference on that map.
A difference you can't even see.
Exactly. It could cost you $20,000 a year.
Or an hour of your life every single morning sitting in traffic on some back road you didn't even know existed.
That is the relocation paradox, right? You're
Sure.
trying to make this huge financial decision with, like, the least amount of real local data.
Yeah.
And today, we're zooming in on a region that is notoriously tricky for this, southeastern Pennsylvania and northern Delaware.
It's a region that looks, deceptively small on a map,
Yeah.
but it's so incredibly dense with complexity.
So for this deep dive, we're working through a huge stack of relocation guides and market data.
We are. It's from the SAR team at Real Broker, so that's Vincent and Jane Sear. And what I think makes this source material so useful is that it blends two very different kinds of expertise.
Right. You've got Jane's military background, so she gets the sheer logistics, the stress, the boxes, moving a whole life on a deadline.
And then you have Vincent's data analytics on the market itself, the numbers, the trends.
And we definitely need both today.
We do, because our mission is to decode this tri-county area, Chester County PA, Delaware County PA, which everyone just calls Delco, and then Newcastle County, right across the border in Delaware.
Yeah, if you're moving here from California or Texas or even just from North Jersey, there are traps in this geography that you just will not see on Zillow.
Not at all.
So let's start with the big one, the headline driver for most people.
The money.
The money.
It's almost always the trigger. Specifically, property taxes. If you are coming from northern New Jersey, Bergen County, Morris County, or even Westchester in New York, looking at a property tax bill in Pennsylvania feels like a clerical error.
It just looks too low to be real. I was looking at the comparison they laid out, and the gap is it's staggering.
The source material uses a great baseline example. Take a $600,000 home,
Okay.
a nice standard single-family house. In those northern NJ counties, you are likely writing a check to the tax man for, I don't know, $16,000, maybe $20,000 a year.
Which is just a massive carrying cost. That's post-tax money you're just burning every month. It's like a second mortgage.
It is. Now take that same $600,000 house and drop it into Chester County, Pennsylvania.
And what happens?
Your bill is likely between $8,000 and $12,000.
Wow.
You've effectively given yourself a $700 a month raise just by crossing the Delaware River.
But wait, if we keep driving south down Route 202, into Delaware, the numbers get even crazier.
They plummet. That same house in Castle County, Delaware, you're looking at maybe $3,000 to $6,000 a year.
3 to 6, that's it.
That's it. And you have to remember, Delaware has zero sales tax.
So just looking at this on paper, the logical brain just screams, move to Delaware. It feels like a tax haven.
It does.
But this is where the SEER team's data puts this giant asterisk on the page. It's not just about property tax.
It's about the total cost of ownership. This is the nuance that out-of-towners always miss, and it is so crucial.
So what's the catch?
It's the income tax.
Yeah.
See, Pennsylvania has a flat state income tax rate. It's 3.07%, super predictable.
Okay.
Delaware, on the other hand, has a graduated income tax that scales up.
Meaning if you're a high earner, the state's going to take a bigger slice of your paycheck.
Precisely. If you're a high-income household, that income tax hit in Delaware might actually wipe out the property tax savings you were so excited about.
So you have to run the calculation on your net income, not just the Zillow estimate for the house payment?
Yes. Don't look at the house payment, look at your pay stub. It's a completely different calculation.
That is a really important distinction.
There is one demographic exception mentioned in the notes, though.
And that would be?
The retirees.
Ah, of course. Because they aren't earning a W-2 salary anymore.
Correct. Delaware excludes Social Security income from taxes and has big exemptions for pensions. So if you're not drawing a traditional salary, Delaware suddenly becomes the clear financial winner.
Low property tax, no sales tax, and it's friendly on your retirement income.
It's a trifecta.
But for the working professional, the cheapest state isn't a straight line. Which, I guess, brings us to the second invisible cost we need to talk about. Time.
Yes.
Because you can save money, living further out, but this region is basically a giant spider web of commuting corridors.
It is. The connectivity is the selling point, but it's also the pain point. If you settle in Chester County, you're essentially triangulating yourself. You're 30 to 50 minutes from Center City, Philadelphia. You're pretty accessible to the airport.
And what about the New York tether? I know people who claim they live in PA and work in NYC. Is that actually sustainable?
Sustainable is a strong word, but it's actionable.
Okay.
You have the Amtrak corridor. Okay. You can hop on a train in Wilmington or Philly and be at Penn Station in 90 minutes.
So for a hybrid schedule, maybe.
Exactly. If you're going in twice a week, it's very popular.
Yeah.
But you have to factor in the cost of that Amtrak ticket.
Yeah.
It is not cheap.
It adds up. Okay, so let's talk about the geography itself. The sources keep mentioning something called the Main Line. If you're not from here, that just sounds like a train track.
Well, it was originally a train line, the old Pennsylvania Railroad's main line, but now it refers to this specific string of wealthy historic suburbs.
Running out from Philly.
Right, northwest of the city, towns like Wayne, Villanova, Bryn Mawr.
These are the old money towns.
Exactly. Historic stone homes, incredibly high-end shopping, very prestigious. The CERT team notes, though, that relocating buyers often get sticker shock there.
So they look further out.
They look a little further west into Chester County where you get more land for your money, but you can still access all those amenities.
The sources categorize these towns into distinct feels. It's not just one big suburb.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
They break it down into basically 3 lifestyle buckets. First, you've got borough life.
Yeah.
Think Westchester, Phoenixville, Media. These are old, historic towns with a legitimate, walkable main street.
This is the Gilmore Girls aesthetic everyone seems to want now. Walk to the coffee shop, the brewery.
Totally. High community engagement, but the trade-off is smaller lots. You're going to hear your neighbors.
And the second bucket.
The power suburbs. School districts like Unionville, Chadds Ford, Great Valley, Garnet Valley.
So this is where you go for the top-tier school ratings.
This is where you go for the cul-de-sacs, the sprawling lawns, and the #1 school ratings. Yes.
Got it. And the third.
The space and pace bucket. Areas like Kennett Square.
Which is the mushroom capital of the world, right?
It is. Or places like Chester Springs or Hockessin over in Delaware. Here you're buying acreage. You want to not see your neighbor when you're on your back deck.
But here's the warning that really stood out to me in the research, especially for these spacious areas. The Google Maps deception.
This burns so many relocation buyers. So many.
I feel like I've been a victim of this.
We all have. You find your dream house in Chester Springs. You plug the address into Google Maps to check the drive to your office in, say, King of Prussia. It says 35 minutes. You think, great, I can do that.
But you're checking it at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday from your couch in California.
Exactly. You're not accounting for the Schuylkill Expressway at 8 a.m. or the single-lane back roads behind the corporate parks that just gridlock when the school buses are out.
Right.
The sources really emphasize this. You need ground truth on commute times. That 35 minutes can easily become an hour and 10.
So don't trust the algorithm. Trust the locals. Now, speaking of things that are confusing, we have to talk about the schools. Because in most of the country, if I live in Springfield, my kids go to Springfield High School. That logic feels universal.
In Pennsylvania, you have to throw that logic right out the window.
So why is it so complicated here?
It's because our school districts are tied to municipal boundaries, townships, boroughs that were drawn hundreds of years ago. They just do not align with your mailing address.
Okay, give me a concrete example of how this messes with a buyer.
The best one is Downingtown. It's a really popular hub in Chester County. You can buy a house with a Downingtown, PA mailing address.
Sure.
The post office delivers your mail there. But because of where that township line cuts through, your children might go to the Downingtown Area School District, or they might go to the Coatesville Area School District.
And those are two very different districts in terms of ratings and, local perception.
Very different. And here's the kicker. The taxes are different, too.
Of course they are.
You could have 2 identical houses right across the street from each other. One pays thousands less in taxes and sends their kids to a different high school.
That feels like a minefield. You really have to be checking the parcel map, not just the Zillow header.
The sources actually call this the school district maze, and they also warn against over-relying on those online rating websites.
You mean the ones that give the school a score out of 10?
Yeah, those.
I think everyone lives and dies by those scores these days. It's the first filter people use.
They do, but the SOAR team suggests Those scores are basically a vanity metric. They don't measure the culture. A 7 out of 10 school might have an unbelievable robotics program that's perfect for your kid. A 10 out of 10 might be a pressure cooker where your kid is just miserable.
You can't quantify community feel on a website.
You can't. Keeps coming back to this same theme. You cannot do this research solely on a laptop.
You need to smell the air, drive the road, see the school bus, but what if you can't?
And that is the reality for so many corporate transfers and military families. Sometimes you just cannot get there until the moving truck is literally pulling up.
So how do you buy a house in a market this complex without ever stepping foot in it?
You need a proxy. The sources describe this process for sight unseen buying that relies on tech, sure, but mostly on just candor.
So it's not just a quick FaceTime call where the agent says, and look at this lovely kitchen.
No, God, no. If you're buying remotely, you need an agent who acts as your chief pessimism officer.
I like that.
You need someone who walks in and says, okay, the video won't show this, but the basement smells like mildew, or the neighbor's dog is barking aggressively.
Or there's a high-tension power line right over the tree line that you can't see in the pictures.
Exactly. You need someone to talk you out of the house, not just sell it to you.
That's actually really smart. You can fall in love with the photos. You need someone on the ground checking the reality.
That's sure.
But let's say you can visit. You've got one weekend to find a house. The Sierra team has a specific strategy for this, the concentrated showing.
This is intense. They don't believe in leisurely browsing. If you fly in for a weekend, they're going to schedule like 6 to 10 homes in a single day.
That sounds exhausting. By house number 5, don't they all just start to blur together?
They do, and that's actually part of the point.
Really?
Yeah. It forces a rapid comparison. When you see 10 houses back to back, you immediately understand value. You stop looking at the paint color and you start seeing the bones of the house.
And the data shows this works.
It does. Most relocation buyers who use this method make an offer within 48 hours.
It's just ripping the Band-Aid off.
It's efficient. And in this market, efficiency is survival.
Let's touch on that market speed. We hear horror stories about that $400,000 to $700,000 price bracket.
It is the Thunderdome. That price point is where first-time buyers, downsizers, and relocators all just collide. Inventory is so tight.
So a good house is gone in a weekend.
A well-priced home is gone in days, usually with multiple offers.
Which leads to the question that I think every risk-averse person asks. Shouldn't I just rent first?
It feels like the safe play, doesn't it? Let's rent for a year, learn the area, then we'll buy.
But the experts here, they call that expensive hesitation.
Right, and for two big reasons. One, the rental inventory for single-family homes in good school districts is incredibly scarce. You're not going to find many options.
Okay, Nim.
Two, the rent you'll pay will likely be higher than your mortgage would have been, and you're missing out on a full year of market appreciation.
So you're paying a premium just to wait, and the house you eventually want is just getting more expensive while you sit there.
Exactly. Unless you are truly unsure if you're keeping the job, the math usually favors buying immediately if you can just navigate the logistics.
And those logistics, I mean, that's the classic chicken and egg problem, right? Selling a house in Texas while buying one in Pennsylvania.
This is where that specialized knowledge really comes in. You need to align settlement dates. You might need something called a bridge loan. If you're military, you've got PCS orders that dictate your timeline down to the day.
You can't just wing it.
No, you can't. It really highlights that relocation is a different sport than just moving. Moving is packing boxes. Relocation is transplanting an entire life.
It's all risk management.
It is. You're managing financial risk with the taxes, lifestyle risk with the commute, and execution risk with the actual transaction.
So if we boil all this down for the listener who is right now probably drowning in browser tabs and Zillow listings, what are the big takeaways?
I think I see three main pillars here. Number one, do the full math. Don't just celebrate the low property tax. You have to calculate the income tax and the cost of your commute. It's a balance sheet, not a price tag.
Right. Number two.
Decode the map. Do not assume the town name equals the school district. You have to verify the boundaries yourself or get an agent who knows them cold.
And number three.
Attack the market. Don't dabble. Whether it's a marathon showing day or a virtual buy from across the country, you need a strategy, not just a vague hope.
I think that ground truth concept is the one that really sticks with me. The internet gives you all this data, but it doesn't give you any context.
Data tells you the price. Context tells you if you'll actually be happy living there.
So here's the question I want to leave you with today. We talked a lot about these trade-offs, money versus time. When you are looking at that dream house with the unbelievably low tax bill, ask yourself, what is the invisible tax? Are you paying for that savings with an extra 45 minutes in the car every single day? Because you can always make more money, but you cannot print more time.
That's the real calculation. Move from hope to a plan.
Thanks for diving in with us. Good luck with the move, and we will see you on the next Deep Dive.